Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Basham El Shai, Basham Kakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Mission who rule well, to the Akim Akrat, throughout the four corners of the earth, holding on in sincerity and truth to the gospel of Lord Amashak Yahushua in these days and times, with diligence of mind, to the gospel of Lord Amashak. To the diligence, with the diligence, to hold on to the gospel of Lord Amashak Yahushua in these days and times. Bram Nasher, DC Camp, short lesson for the hopeful alert. Yeah, so we can't hold our breath here in Babylon and think things will get better. So our people just gonna keep on catching hell. The cycle of catching hell never stops for our people. It's just the bitter experiences, of being at the bottom of the barrel. So over there in the state of Nebraska, the the food company, Tyson Food, decided to shut down their plant for for the processing of slaughtered beef, slaughtered bulls and cows and all that stuff. The meat packing company had to shut down. So it's just part of it, man. They had to shut down their plant over there in Lexington, uh, Nebraska. Hope I'm getting it right. So, our people has made it a tradition, to be the face of disappointment, the face of sadness. You know, it's just what you call a helpless cycle, a cycle of helplessness, and it's just horrible. It's a small Nebraska town reacts after Tyson plans to lay off 3,200 workers. All right, so that's just what happens, when people get the bad news during the so-called festive seasons. And it's just part of the journey that you have to be aware of, man, because when they release the so-called non-farm payroll numbers, all this ADP employment and all that stuff, uh, interest rates, inflation, your PCE and all that stuff. They release it. You see how the market operates. You see how they react. And then you look at the price of precious metals, the price of energy, commodities and all that stuff. So it just shows you that, people are getting squeezed, man. And that's just the sad part of our lives here in Babylon, man. Brothers gotta go through that patch too of being laid off. So I get a quick precept. It's gonna be from the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. You can never go amiss. When you read from the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10, it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." And this is what people have to constantly contend with, man. They want to hold on to Babylon, so bad, man. They wait for decades just to become a citizen, and then they still have to carry that of hoping they make it, man. Hoping they're able to pay a bill, pay the rent, hoping for this, hoping for that, hoping they get to graduate from college, hoping they get a job and all that stuff. So that's just the nature of our people, man. The people of hope. Hoping our so-called dire circumstances improve, and it's painful. but you just have to learn to persevere, man. In this gospel, man, you have to be fully aware of the things you have to deal with in the world, man. This gospel of the Lord Amashiach Yahushai, prepares you for the chaos you have to deal with, you know. So you have to understand how to prepare your mind, to have a stable foundation, because it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, Now we're talking about unemployment and disappointment. So when the so-called chaotic violence hits the streets, how are people gonna react? So that's the problem. We have to solve. So John chapter 14 and 27 says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world give it." All right. So going to the so-called unemployment office, you know, looking for insurance and all handouts and charity and grants, that's just temporary. You know, not as the world give it, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Yeah, that's just what you have to prepare yourself for, man. So this is John chapter 16 and 33. What does it say? Yeah, you have to learn to prepare yourself for the difficult times. So John 16 and 32, it says, "Behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come, that ye shall be scattered every one to his own, and ye shall leave me alone. And yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation." So that's one thing. You have to understand, man. Yahushua says you're going to have peace in Him. Why? Because He is the Prince of Peace. He is the chosen one. He is the anointed. All right. He is the only begotten Son of Yahweh. All right. So He says what? In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So that's good news. That's the summary of the gospel. We have to deal with the tribulation of this world, man. See the sadness in the eyes of our people. And when you look at the workers for this facility, man, it's just Jakes, man. Overwhelming representation of Drakes. Alright, so I'll play the clip.
The Tyson plant gave us notice of a layoff procedure warrant notice over a week ago. They'll be closing their facility as of January 20th, impacting 3,200 individuals for the community of Lexington. The general mood of the individuals coming in for our services, of course, is anxiety. What do I do next? Will I have a job? Where do I go? And what do I do from here? Tyson workers make up about 3,200 of the population of 11,000 of Lexington, and so they have a great impact upon the culture, schools, and everything that a community is comprised of.
I have 4 kids. My oldest is 21. I have one that is 13. I have one that is 11, and I have one that is 8. So when I told them, their reaction was to cry. They were mad. And I'm guessing that was just a reaction because they were heartbroken. They don't want to go anywhere. This is their home.
These plants have been underutilized, and we have a shortage of cattle out there in the U.S., and because of that, very vulnerable that somebody might shut down. Really, my heart was broken over the change of what it does to our community. We have a very strong community in Lexington that really is close knit and very accepting.
Yeah, so the old man says it's a shortage of cattle. In other words, someone's been squeezing out the cattle farmers, man. The cattle farmers are not producing like they need to produce anymore. So, yeah, that's just another issue with things that happen, with the USDA, man. So, yeah, you can follow the money, you can follow the regulations to see what's going on, and it's just the Most High pulling the plug on this place, and a lot of our people need to really wake up and understand what's coming down the pipeline, man. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. You have the issue of fertilizers. You have the issue of livestock feed. You have the issue of immigration. Then you also have the issue of health care. All right, so it's like a noose. The walls are closing in on these farmers. And it's basically a power move. It's a power move. That's how you put people in their place. That's how you put people. That's how you back them into a corner. All right, when you decide to just shut down operations and move on. You can imagine if every Walmart decides to shut down, or even a Walmart just shuts down. You imagine the devastation that's going to happen. And it's just the writing on the wall. It's going to be a painful process. So you can imagine when people are desperate to feed their family, they're going to think that the universal basic income will be a godsend. They'll be tempted, to take that MOTB. So that's why it is important to hold on to the gospel of the Mashiach Yahushua, man. Do not break frame. Do not throw away your hope. Do not throw away the covenant our forefather Abraham made with the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kakadash. The time of our test, of our temptation is getting closer and closer. The time of Jacob's trouble. So you can imagine what families are gonna do, the ones with children, and all that stuff, the elderly. So it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be depressing. But hey, whoever the Lord is gonna deliver in those times, that'll be their luck. That's just what has to happen. It's part of prophecy. All right. So I read another precept, to go along the line. It's from the book of from the book of Jeremiah. Yeah, it's painful, but you just have to deal with it, man. You gotta pray for mercy. You gotta pray for mercy. Mercy. So Jeremiah 42 and 22. Now therefore know certainly that ye shall die by the sword, by the famine, by the pestilence, in the place whither ye desire to go and to sojourn. Yeah, so that's part of the judgment of the Lord, man. For chastising our people. This is the chastening of the Lord that our people has to endure. And only the gospel can give you a rest, rest assured. Yeah, so that's what you have to remember, man. This running around from city to city looking for a job, looking for a shelter, accommodation, and all that stuff. It's like you're trying to run away from something, man. But at the end of the day, man, when the judgment of the Lord comes, people have to be prepared spiritually, as to what's part of the journey they find themselves, all right?
packing industry as well as all industries?
We just hardworking people. That's it. We're just hardworking people. All we do is go to work, come to church. That's all we do here.
The emotions are just the same, just like everyone feels, because this is something, like I said, that touches every fabric of this community. No one seems to be spared. In the midst of all of that, the message remains the same, that whatever God allows to come to us, He allows it because He knows what He's going to do about it in the end. So I keep assuring them not to be afraid.
Yeah, so that's a challenge, you know. When our people get carried away in this false doctrine, man. You know, so that's the response of the Lord. So you can see, you know, the ideology of Roman Catholicism, you know, being present among our people. So it's just a struggle, man, on a daily basis to deal with the chastening of the Lord. You know, so hey, our brothers are, you know, they wake up, you know, to who they are, man, because being an Israelite is no joke, man. You know, the Northern Kingdom, so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans, man, you know, they find themselves in a tough place. You know, it's like a struggle. You know, Dios míos, you know, todo el tiempo. You know, you're like, oh my God, every single time, every single day. You know, it becomes you know, it becomes what do you call it? Let me just say a self-fulfilling prophecy. Struggle, man. You know, so that's just the curse of Deuteronomy chapter 28, man. You know, the lack of having a firm foundation. You know, the lack of confidence, the lack of faith. You know, you could see how the Most High just hit us with all those bouts of chastenings, man. You know, you have to be prepared in the spirit to repent, and that's what we have to do. You know, so that you be able to withstand the trials and tribulations of this time. So that was the shorts of this lesson, man. You know, Baratiza, you know, I can make another installment, and just you know, keep my eye out there, man, because Jake is catching hell, man. You know, Jake is catching hell. So just hold on. You know, we're almost out of here. Shalom.